2022 had a lot of music come out, and while some of it can be seen as underwhelming or bad, some of it was also great. I already posted videos on the top 10 best and top 5 worst albums of 2022, but what did people think stood out as some of the best songs of the year? After a year of new music night streams, keeping track of what people enjoyed, and then sorting it all out, I have the results of the fan-voted top 10 favorite songs of 2022. Throughout 2022, on that streaming website I can't say on YouTube, I had viewers vote with a thumbs up or thumbs down on every song I played. The songs that got over 90% thumbs up were added to the best of that respective month. I shared out those monthly lists, and then recently I took every song that I got high votes, put them in a poll, and let the public decide. Viewers were given 3 instructions on how to vote. If you like the song, vote for it. If you don't like the song, don't vote for it. And if you don't know the song, don't vote for it. Songs were organized in the month they were released, then alphabetically. I made this as unbiased and fair as possible. Out of over 200 songs that were received well, I had several hundred voters all say what songs they enjoyed. It was great to go back and see all the songs that were received so well over the year, and I have the statistics and breakdown of what listeners thought were the top 10 favorite songs of 2022. You know how these videos work, let's get to it. Number 10. The Prince of Darkness may be retiring from full tours, but Ozzy Osbourne is still putting in work. The title track of Patient Number 9 featuring Jeff Beck was one of the many killer collaborations from Ozzy this year, and it's definitely one of my favorites from the album. Just when you think that Madman is going to calm down, he proves he has much more left. Patient Number 9 has great guitar work from Jeff Beck, and it's highlighted by his elongated riffs and melody that carries the track. Ozzy's performance is strong and rides with the groove. I was a fan of this song and album, and I wish this track would have gotten a bit more attention this year. 17.9% of all voters say they liked Patient Number 9, the song, and while there is an argument that newer names aren't getting recognition, the opposite side is that a metal icon is still contributing. I don't have a problem with the household name still making heavy music, so long as that music is good. Enjoy Ozzy. This is a fun song to hear. It fits in with the album and what Osbourne has done over several decades. Not sure what Osbourne does next, but if he's still making good music like this, we'll all be on the crazy train with him. Number 9. An amazing year for Lorna Shore, who really stole the show in metal in 2022 with Pain Remains. The first of the 3-part title track is fierce, dark, horrifying at times, and has elevated this band into higher status. When you have an extreme style like symphonic deathcore getting praise from listeners who aren't into that subgenre, it speaks volumes on your craft. Whether it's the symphonic elements adding a haunting backdrop, or it's Will Ramos having the wildest range and metal screaming imaginable, Lorna Shore stood out in a sea of rock and metal monotony. Pain Remains is what deathcore has needed for years, and Dancing Like Flames is only one section of the 3-track masterpiece, proving the group's scope. 17.9% of everyone voting say they enjoyed it. Lorna Shore is a band that mainstream listeners are not going to be familiar with, and many of those mainstream listeners got introduced to Lorna Shore this year. In my opinion, this song is a great jumping on point. Dancing Like Flames shows exactly what the band is aiming for now, while letting you know everything continues in part 2. Is Lorna Shore for everyone? Not at all. And I get why people would not be into this, but Lorna Shore have proven they have an audience, and this title track is growing that audience. Number 8. The return of a great guitarist to Red Hot Chili Peppers led to a return of this California-obsessed group dominating airwaves and rekindling love for the band. Black Summer was the lead single for Chili Peppers' Unlimited Love, and it definitely proved the group was trying to bring back a groove that was missing on the last few albums without Frusciante. I enjoyed Unlimited Love fine, and I think Black Summer is the standout. It was the right choice for the lead single. I still will never fully love the lyrical sophistication of Anthony Kiedis, but this song shines in many moments, and it was a pleasant return to form for the group. 19.4% of all voters said they enjoyed Black Summer, and for what I've seen this past year, I think this was the standout song from 2 Chili Peppers albums. Take that however you want, but this song being so well received proves that people want to hear Flea bump around on bass even in 2022. Red Hot Chili Peppers are about to have their 40th anniversary. That is wild considering all the events that this band have gone through. I'm also going to say that it's somehow wilder that they put out 2 albums in 2022. The group is pushing along, and I'm confident the state of California could not be happier. Number 7. arguably one of the biggest breakout names in 2022 and a band I have been bombed with messages to talk about more. People love Bad Omens. So much so that the track Like a Villain was able to beat out many big names. Thanks to a massive hype around the group and a younger audience waving the banner for them on social media, Bad Omens had an amazing year. Like a Villain might be one of my favorite singles from The Death of Peace of Mind, the band's latest, which is an album that grew on me over time. That being said, I'm aware of an extremely passionate and vocal group of fans who are demanding everyone praise Bad Omens as the next big thing. 20.1% of voters say they liked Like a Villain. The track had a solid flow and the high notes are not shrill. The bridge takes its time and then shows off a good tone of a band like this. When you hear a song like a Villain on SiriusXM, it's a breath of fresh air after endless chugga chugga and post-grunge bands doing the same thing for 20 years in a row. I don't even think the love for listeners is so much for Like a Villain as it is for Bad Omens. They have become the new darlings that a younger generation is swearing by, and social media is boosting their success. Seriously, go to a Bad Omens concert now. It's like a TikTok influencer party. Social media is helping bands like this. Number 6. The title track of Shinedown's 7th album, and a much more topical one in tone. Planet Zero is still getting solid radio play at the end of 2022 and was the driving force of the album and eventual tour, as Planet Zero condemns cancel culture, the media, and just about everything else you can hear an elderly man screaming at over the TV. Shinedown's new planet is a mirror of ourselves. That's the best summation I can give, is the music and guitar tone, the structure of everything, it all works and is a good lead single. I'm just not a fan of some of the lines like "they're canceling your feelings." It begs the question, which feelings? Which feelings are you upset that you can't talk openly about? Not my favorite Shinedown song by a long shot, but also not the worst thing they've done, and it definitely continued the band's success streak. I'm surprised it ranked this high out of hundreds of songs, but it worked for a lot of people. Even with this understood direction Shinedown was taking everything, it had a good sound. Shinedown also proved they can still sell out amphitheaters and tours in 2022. 20.5% of all listeners say they liked the song, and so 1 out of 5 people didn't mind the lyrics and wanted to live on Planet Zero, which is a mirror of our own planet. That's deep. Number 5. And the mascara ran down the faces of millions. The long-awaited return of My Chemical Romance came this past summer with the Foundation of Decay, and for many, it was worth the wait. As soon as the song dropped, I knew it would be beloved by the majority audience, and the New Music Night that week proved it. This poll proved it even further, with so many enjoying it. This is a longer track, and in a world of stock radio formats, this should not be allowed, and My Chemical Romance did not care. They proved they can make whatever they want and make it work, and every longtime fan ate it up. For good reason too, the song is good. I argue that the song might be too long, especially in the opening minute, and that could have been condensed a bit, but that is a nitpick, and I'm excited that the Foundation of Decay started off a new chapter for the group. If this song is the base of an upcoming album, I'm happy. My Chemical Romance proved their audience will come flocking to concerts to hear the old material, and it'll be another sellout tour if they deliver more music like Foundation of Decay. Almost 1/4 of all voters say they liked this song, and I think that's a good indication for future success. Number 4. A surprise EP from Spiritbox had everyone once again praising what Courtney and company are doing. Rotoscope had many people hooked from the beginning while not sounding like everything else in metalcore. That's 2 boxes checked in my good list. I wanted Spiritbox to get more attention, and they continued their good name with the EP and this song. Spiritbox has a world of potential, and as soon as I heard Rotoscope, I loved it. The electronic beat leading into the riffs with Courtney's delivery gradually increasing in volume made this song killer. When I say I wanted variety in metalcore, this is what I'm talking about. 26.1% of voters say they liked Rotoscope, and I love it when a newer group gets that much recognition. Even when competing with names like Ozzy Osbourne and My Chemical Romance, Spiritbox have made a huge impact since Eternal Blue, and Rotoscope helps prove it wasn't a one-time thing. Another sellout tour already announced for the beginning of 2023, possibly more new music. Rotoscope sounds great and gives hope for the future along with everything else Spiritbox is doing. Future looks bright for the group, and here's hoping that continues. Number 3. A sing-along song about dying as only Slipknot can do. While Slipknot's latest album, The End So Far, divided some longtime fans, this song is a great example of a group effort with everyone in the nine killing it and proving Slipknot still have plenty of diesel in that tank for a long ride. Whether it's Jay's fantastic drumming or Corey being the charming and sinister man that he is, everyone in Slipknot sold the dying song. The chorus gets stuck in your head, and that chant of die, die, die is enough to get into the long-term memory of any morbid heavy music lover. That's dark, but true. The Dying song grows on you the more you hear it. I can attest personally the song is great live also. Fits well with the setlist and the crowd gets into it fast. It's not overly long and packs a punch. I understand I might have some clear bias loving Slipknot, but obviously I'm not the only one. 28% of voters said they liked this song, which proved to me that a wide variety of listeners giving input and the Dying song ranking at number 3, Slipknot still knows how to kick the door down with a great single. Say whatever you want about the end so far, but it's not the end for Slipknot making great music. Number 2. Ghost had another amazing year. The new Papa introducing Impera, massive touring, several charting singles, and another untraditional song in metal. Call Me Little Sunshine is a broodier and slower track, but still with a heavy tone, and it sells what Ghost can create in variety while still sounding like the massive cult that Mr. Forge has created on stage and in studio. Call Me Little Sunshine is fantastic. Forge said in an interview with SiriusXM that he wanted to make a slower track that was still heavy, something akin to Hell's Bells, as he puts it. That goal and design is good. You can be heavy and not be shredding at 100 beats per minute. 31.3% of all voters said they liked Call Me Little Sunshine, and I get this is not the typical pump-up Ghost track, but also keep in mind the Ghost albums do sound different, and the darker tone of this song still fits the discography like a glove. Ghost can be as sinister as they want and still be bright and colorful. A song like this coming after Prick Hell was bound to have high expectations, and while this is much different in mood, it still works. Just more proof from many, including myself, that Papa and the Ghouls are expanding their world and making it more fun for everyone. Number 1. The most voted song by a long shot for 2022 by hundreds of listeners, and it came out at the end of November. It's interesting the power a new Metallica song has, especially when the song does sound good. I'm definitely not against Lux Aeterna being the most favorite song of 2022, but I admit I am surprised that it overshadowed everything else. To make it clear, I like the song fine. Strong sing-along chorus and great guitar work. It's also not a 6-minute Metallica single, which is nice. But the fact that Lux Aeterna came out less than a month ago and it got the most votes is interesting. Remember that I ordered the list chronologically and then alphabetically for each month. That means Metallica was way down on the poll, near the bottom. Several hundred listeners completed the poll, and over 1/3 of voters said they liked this song at 34.3%. Making it the most liked song from 2022 that was featured out of thousands of tracks streamed on new music nights and hundreds to choose from that were initially given a high percentage of thumbs up of votes each week. That's saying something. On one hand, I'm glad it's a good sounding Metallica track. On the other hand, it's not nearly as legendary as other original Metallica material, and I think people are just happy to not have Saint Anger right now. New album in April, new massive world tour next year, new reasons for people to complain about Metallica in one form or another. Was it name recognition that got the majority of the votes, or was it that majority of people truly did enjoy Lux Aeterna? That you'd have to ask each voter, but the consensus is clear. Rock and metal fans still want Metallica in 2022. And that was a look at the top 10 favorite songs of 2022 as voted by rock listeners and streamers. What was your favorite song of 2022? What would you have voted for the songs featured here? Leave a comment and let everyone know. Big thanks to my patrons and special thanks to Chris Doman and Dom Noble. You can have a say in upcoming videos, get weekly new music playlists, and see videos early by supporting Rocked on Patreon and through YouTube memberships. Click the join button below or the link in the video description for more info on how you can help the channel. Please subscribe and ring the bell to get notified of upcoming videos and keep up to date with Rocked on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Can you imagine if Lux Aeterna would have been the first song after Saint Anger or after Load and Reload? People would have lost their mind saying this was the greatest comeback ever. Don't get me wrong, I'm also glad it's not a Saint Anger track.